Hello, everybody, and welcome to the GoDaddy and Media Temple Hangout. We're going to be talking today about what is new in WordPress 3.9 and what is new in WordPress in general. My name is Christopher Carfey. I work here with web professionals, web developers, web designers, really helping them understand what are some of the offerings that we have and really listening to a lot of questions and engaging in a lot of conversations to understand how we can better help that audience. Here with a number of folks, going to throw it over to Payne and Felix in Phoenix in a second to introduce themselves, and we also have Suzette Franck in Southern California. So Felix, why don't you say a few words about yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Felix Gorodishter. I'm the Software Development Manager of WordPress Initiatives for GoDaddy. I've been with the company for almost 5 years now, and now I'm responsible for the 2+ million sites that you all host on WordPress within GoDaddy's platform. So thanks for joining us.
Hi all, I'm Kirk Payne. I do a lot of the WordPress related development on our team, and I'm also responsible for some of the sites that you guys host. So I do a lot of the some of the tier 3 support and developer support, that kind of stuff.
Thanks, guys. And Suzette?
Hello, everybody. I'm Suzette Franck. I am the WordPress Evangelist at Media Temple, and I educate and advocate for WordPress, the application, as well as the platform. And I do a lot of WordCamp speaking. I've spoken to date at 18 different WordCamps about all topics, ranging from technical things to beginner things as well. And I also have, Media Temple has another hangout called WP Unicorn Project that runs on Thursdays, and you can find that at wpunicornproject.com.
Great, thank you all. So again, the point of this hangout is to really understand what is new in WordPress and what is coming in future versions. We're going to do a little bit of a demo of some of those features as well. As we're talking, just a couple of bits of note. Number one is if you are having parallel conversations on Twitter, I think that's awesome, and we are using the hashtag GDWP for that, as in GoDaddy WordPress. So if you are tweeting, GDWP is the way to go. And then also, as we're going, we will be both interspersing and at the end of the conversation having a number of Q&A interactions as well. So you can actually start posting your questions to the thread now. We'll be capturing those as we're going along and interspersing them. So with that, would actually like to hand it over to Suzette. It sounds like there are quite a few new things that have come out in 3.9. Is that right?
Yeah, it's really exciting. 3.9 actually came out on April 16th. We're currently at 3.9.1, that's the current release, and that release was headed up by Andrew Nason and Mike Schroeder, and they did an excellent job. There's a lot of very good enhancements in this. The release is named after Jimmy Smith, who is a famous jazz organist. A little bit about that. They always name their releases after jazz musicians. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a screen share here, and I'm going to show you a little bit about the new features that we have here. See if I can get this right here. Start screen share here. Give me just a moment here. Thanks for bearing with me. All right, can you see my screen okay?
Perfect.
Perfect. So first I'm going to bring you to new posts because a lot of the changes have been made in the post and pages edit screen. So a lot of these enhancements have to do with the visual editor, which is this. There's the text editor and the visual editor. So you'll notice that the icons have all been redone. They've removed the paste from Word button, but that feature still works. They just don't have a special button for it anymore. So that button's been removed. And they've also moved the distraction-free writing mode button over to the right. So if you click on this button, it gives you a really nice very distraction-free writing theme, as they call it. So you can just type and interact with your content and get the best content without being distracted by everything else. And then let's see, exit that. Other improvements that have been made include the media uploader. I'm going to go ahead and create an image post here so I can show you some of the things that they've done here. So this is an image post, and they have it now where before you had to click on Add Media to actually add a picture, But I'm going to show you can now drag and drop these from anywhere onto the post and it will work, and I'll show you an example of that. You can also do multiple files as well, but we're going to go ahead and put one on here and insert this into post. And another thing that they've added is the ability to scale images right in the browser window. So if I wanted this image to be really small, I could just resize it like that and it would show up. So this is a lot easier than what they had before. Also, editing has been improved, so if you actually click on the edit button, you'll see that you get options to rotate, to scale, and some other advanced options. When you click on advanced options, you get the ability to set a CSS class, open a new window, or set a specific tag for that. So that's pretty cool. Other things that they've added, so this is an image post, and it used to be before when you edit, if you want to insert a group of images into your post, you can insert a gallery. So let me show you that. You would click on Add Media and then Create Gallery. And then from Create Gallery, you can select the images that you want to appear in that gallery. And the big change here, we'll go ahead and click on Create New Gallery. And then it allows you to specify the amount of columns and what each image links to. So we're going to keep it at attachment page and click on random order. Then we're going to insert the gallery. And the big change here is that you can now see that a preview of what the gallery is going to look like real time. Before it used to be just a box that you could click to get more information. So let's go ahead and publish this. And then I'm going to show you what that looks like. View post. So it looks just like it looked in the editor. So that's pretty cool, the image editing features. Other media, let's go ahead and create a new post. They've done a lot of enhancements with audio and video files. So let's go ahead and create like an audio post. And just like pictures, we're going to go ahead and click on Add Media. And from Add Media, we're going to click on Create Audio Playlist. And you notice when I click on Create Audio Playlist, it automatically defaults to showing only the audio files. So let's go ahead and click on a few of these and create a new playlist. And it gives you the option to show track list, show artist name in the track list, and show images. So we're going to insert that. And it's really cool. It gives you a pretty good idea of what it's going to look like before you actually publish it. So this is pretty close to what it's going to look like. Let me show you this. I'll publish it. And then if you click on View Post, it gives you an audio playlist, which is pretty cool. So these are just, there we go. It's going to play through. But like you can do that with, oops, sorry about that. Like you can do that with the audio post, you can also do a video playlist, which is something that's pretty new and exciting. So let me show you that. The process is pretty much the same, but you can edit it. We're going to go ahead and click on Add Media again, and then we're going to click on Create Video Playlist, and it shows, it'll default to all the videos that are in here. So I think we're going to include all of these videos except for the first one. And then we're going to create a new video playlist, and it gives you some options here, show video list and show images, and we want both of those. So it gives you a preview of what that looks like, and then if we publish this, you can see how it actually works. It's very slick. Here's the view post, and then if you click on play, it will play the different videos in sequence, which is pretty nice. So that one's a little bit noisy. But that was nice. So these are new features, so you don't need any special plugins or anything special to do this, which is pretty awesome. Let's switch off of that now. The next thing that I wanted to show you was, let's see here, video playlist. The customizer, there's been a lot of changes in the customizer as well. So normally what you can do is once you've picked a theme or after you've picked a theme, you can customize it. And depending on what options they have in there, this is what we call the customizer. All the options are on here on the left with the preview on the right. And this gives you the ability to make changes to your site while not actually pushing these changes live. So you're making changes to the site, but you're getting a preview of what it looks like, but you're the only one seeing this preview. And before, they didn't have the ability to show widgets. So now widgets are something that you can preview, like say if I wanted to add a widget to this sidebar, I want to add a calendar, and that is going to add it to the primary sidebar, which is in the footer, I believe. There we go. We've added a calendar. So it depends on your theme what that's going to look like. But the good thing about using the customizer is that all these changes are not affecting what your viewers see on live on the website. Everything is just for you to see, and you can get it looking exactly what you'd like and see what it looks like with real content dropped in, which is something else that's not apparent at first. So we're going to go ahead and save and publish those changes. All right, close. And then the other improvements that have been made in 3.9 are in the theme browser. It used to be that searching for a theme was kind of tedious. Well, they're really doing a lot to improve this experience for the user. So if you go to Add New, it gives you a preview of what that theme looks like, and then there's also a popular, featured, and latest, and there's also now a feature filter. So you can filter, say you're looking for a theme with 3 columns, and you want it to be a flexible header, you can search for that and just click on Apply Filters, and it will show you a preview of all those that are showing up. So you can really find some really good quality themes in the repository. Let's see, what else do we have here? Filter by features, we talked about that. And that's about it for the user end. Let me unshare this here. There we go.
Okay.
There you go. We're back.
Awesome.
So that's all the enhancements in 3.9. So it's a lot of media editing, as well as how to use playlists and audio and video playlists as well.
Great, thanks, Suzette. I mean, it sounds like there are a bunch of things there. I was kind of taking notes as you're going through. So it sounds like we've got the ability to drag and drop images directly into the editor, which also will automatically upload things. We've got
you can do it. I tested it. You can actually do it with images, PDFs, JPEGs, movies. Any kind of media file will work. You can just drag and drop that into the editor now.
Oh, very cool. So once you just drop it in there, it will not only put it in the post, it'll do the upload and all of the other things.
It does the upload, and then it gives you the option to set the different configuration before you insert it into the post. Okay. So after you upload it, it gives you that upload screen where you can configure further how you want that to look.
Excellent, excellent. So we've got those things. We've got the gallery, whole host of different editing options that we didn't have before to be able to do the editing in place. Audio and video playlist, which is something we haven't seen before. And then we've got a number of customizer enhancements as well as the theme browser as well. So there are a whole raft of different things in there. Now, Kurt and Felix, what are some of the things that you guys are excited about as WordPress has been moving forward here?
So there's also some developer candy in 3.9. It's a pretty forward-looking release. It now will switch between the new and the old MySQL driver. So it's now fully PHP 5.5 compatible. So we're looking forward to that. So there's no reason that you can't run WordPress on PHP 5.5. No more deprecated warnings. So as a note to anyone who's a theme developer or plugin developer out there, make sure that you're using the WP-DB abstraction layer. If you don't know what this means, then you need to go to make.wordpress.org/core and read all the documentation on there. So do not call the MySQL underscore functions directly because they may not work on PHP 5.5. The other kind of neat change is you can now use plugins in WordPress in your development environment that are symlinked in. So previously, if you had, say, WordPress in one folder and then you had your plugins in another folder and you just created a symlink into the WP Content Plugins folder, WordPress wouldn't be able to find some of the resources correctly using plugins URL or plugins base name, they fixed that so that 90% of the time it's going to work correctly. There are a few edge cases, and again, all of that's documented on make.wordpress.org/core. So they're really doing a lot to make it more developer friendly and more forward looking under the hood. So it's a pretty exciting release.
Very cool. Felix, any things that are getting you jazzed?
Really, it's exciting to see WordPress progressing. As things progress and plugins update and themes update, we'll be able to introduce a lot more performance features as time goes on, especially with things like removing some of the legacy functionality that Kurt referred to. We'll be able to move into newer versions of PHP more easily, and that will kind of open the gates to really enhance the performance. If you read about where PHP is going, there's the next generation project, which will really kind of allow PHP to go faster and be a much more modern language. So WordPress will definitely be able to benefit from that, and you can see some of the early performance numbers are pretty impressive.
And the MySQLi, that's going to let you do things like multiple queries, transactions. It's pretty much the best MySQL driver out there. In some cases, it does even beat PDO. So that's a really exciting change. I'm glad to see that in the core. So.
Awesome. Just to remind folks who are listening in, just a couple housekeeping things. If you are following along on Twitter, GDWP is the hashtag we're using. We're actually starting to see some questions coming in on that hashtag, so if you are following along there, please feel free. We are actively listening on that hashtag for additional questions. And if other folks who are in the Hangout environment have questions, please feel free to drop those into the Hangout environment. We are going to be going through those throughout the rest of the half hour here. And so actually we do have one question right here that I wanted to jump on, which was, this is from folks over at Espresso Media. They say, greetings, is the new version available now, and what are the main new features that put it a cut above the latest version? So is 3.9 available to folks right now?
Yes, 3.9.1 actually.
Okay, so we've actually had two recent updates.
Just one.
Okay, so 3.9 and 3.9.1 are they different, or are they the same?
There are 34 bug fixes in 3.9.1 that are not in 3.9. So
okay.
It's recommended that if you use 3.9, that you definitely, if you do use 3.9, it will automatically be updated to 3.9.1. Okay,
got it. Excellent. Thank you. So I'm just taking a look here. Other things I want to make sure that we make it through. So.
And some of the bigger things that were included in 3.9 that were not part of the earlier release is the preview in the editor. I gave this talk, I gave a 3.9 talk at SoCal WordPress Meetup, and people were roaring with laughter and clapping because of the gallery preview. They were so excited about that.
Nice, nice. What was it a gallery of kittens or particularly cute puppies?
It wasn't, oh no, it wasn't that. It was just the ability that you could see it, because before it was just a gray box with a generic icon in the middle, and
okay.
You have to preview the page live to see that content.
Okay.
So now it's giving you an actual preview of what it's going to look like before you publish it.
Okay, got it. So, I mean, both in the on the GoDaddy side of the house as well as Media Temple, we've got millions of sites that are running WordPress in various configurations. So how, Felix and Kurt, how is GoDaddy handling the upgrades and the migrations from earlier versions to 3.9.1?
That's a great question. So for those that have been following along with WordPress, a couple versions ago, they introduced the ability to automatically upgrade point releases of core. So if you had 3.9 to upgrade to 3.9.1, if you're on shared hosting platforms, that upgrade happens automatically for you, as long as you don't actively disable that feature. As far as getting to actually 3.9, if you're on the premium WordPress offering from Media Temple and the managed WordPress offering from GoDaddy, we automatically went ahead and updated your sites for you and actually applied the latest security patch as well. If you're on cPanel or Plesk or a dedicated server, the grid at Media Temple, any one of those products. If you log into your WP admin, you should have an update button at the top left corner, a little circle with a 1 next to it. Go ahead and click that, and you'll be presented a screen where you can apply the update for yourselves. And again, as Suzette mentioned, you definitely want to be on 3.9.1, and soon there'll be a follow-on release with 3.9.2 that'll introduce even more bug fixes and security features. But if you're on the premium platform and the managed platform, all of that has been taken care of completely for you.
Awesome. Thank you. Suzette, how about at Media Temple? How are the upgrades being handled?
That I would have to defer to Felix and Kurt on. Yeah. Okay. I'm more of the user end.
Excellent. So a couple other questions are coming in, and again, if folks listening have additional ones, please either drop them in the Q&A or at GDWP. So this one is a question from Michael Baxter, and Michael says that for him, JavaScriptlet ads don't seem to work in WordPress 3.9. Is that being looked at, or am I the only one having this problem? Kurt and Felix, are you guys seeing anything around JavaScriptlets from your side of the house?
I haven't seen any reports of this type of thing happening. I'd be curious to know more about the problem, if it's specific to a plugin or theme, and if there's been an update related to that plugin or theme. So it could be something like unfiltered HTML not being allowed because that's a specific permission in WordPress. Or again, it could be that plugin or theme needs an update. I'm not specifically sure about that problem. I would have to look a little bit more. If it's something that's hosted here, then please open a support ticket and we'll take another look at it for you.
Cool. And it looks like Michael had a follow-up, and I don't know if this was related to the JavaScriptlet question or if it was a parallel one, but he says in particular Amazon Associate embedded product links and ads don't work. Figured it would be easier to understand with a little bit more specificity, so I think it may be related to those. But Michael, if you've got other follow-ups, either drop them on here or support ticket, or try and catch up with us on Twitter, and we're happy to answer those as well. We do have a couple of questions coming in from Twitter. The first one here from Michael Mason asks, is WordPress capable of taking metadata straight out of the box yet with no plugins or settings changes? I don't know if that's detailed enough. Can you guys take a swing at that, or do we need a little bit more behind that one?
So it depends on what type of metadata you want. If it's per post, there are some custom fields that you can use. Again, that would have to be a plugin that you use. There is a whole framework around post meta that WordPress supports. There may need to be a plugin that allows you to edit that. And then on the front end, you would have to find a way to display it. That might violate your question about settings changes needed, but the whole back end is there to support that data structure and querying and organizing data that way. It just needs to be exposed in the UI. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Suzette may have specific recommendations on plugins.
I know that there's, I think I'm not sure if he's talking specifically about the metadata that, like the EXIF data from a photo. I'd have to know a little bit more about which metadata he's talking about. But just to add fields I recommend Advanced Custom Fields, which is a plugin that allows you to add more fields to your posts.
And the EXIF data, that's supported out of the box, right? Like if you upload a JPEG, all of the title and that sort of data is pulled from the image and put in the media editor right away.
The title is, but I don't think anything beyond the title is what's included.
Okay.
Keywords, etc. You have to turn. Let's see. I'm looking at the metadata I was referring to was the standard stuff, keywords, etc. Typically, you have to turn something on or use a plugin. As far as I know, for keywords, I would recommend WordPress for SEO by Yoast, and that's something that you could use, or you can use the core functionality of keywords and categories.
Right. And that was in when you say the SEO for WordPress, that's Yoast, Yoast. Is that right, Suzette?
Yes, that's correct.
Cool. Excellent. So one more question in from the Twitter stream here. Is there yet a way of inserting raw PHP and MySQL code into a page or sequence of pages?
You would have to edit the template
Okay.
files to do that. So there's not, I've seen some plugins that will do that, but they're kind of iffy and buggy. So I don't know that there's any that I recommend, but there were a few plugins that would enable PHP and widgets and posts as well.
Okay.
I know too that there's at least one host out there that disables the use of the eval function. So they're probably, those plugins, they're probably not going to be as portable as Suzette's recommendation of just editing the pages that you need to edit.
And for this, make sure, talk to your host if you're not familiar with how to get to your files. You can use SFTP or FTP or something of that nature, or even the built-in editor to modify your template and your plugins.
But if you use the built-in editor, you just have to be aware that there's no undo function. So I recommend against using the editor, because you can get into some trouble with that, because you could, accidentally type in a few characters and everything is gone. There's no backup of that. So I'd rather use that edit function for viewing template files like really quickly, but not actually making editing. You can actually disable editing if you're making sites for other people as well. You can edit that. You can disable that edit functionality so that nobody gets in trouble.
Got it. Well, we've got just a couple minutes left here, and especially a lot of these more recent questions were into some of the more technical aspects of WordPress. If folks are just getting started, are there resources out there that you would recommend where people can get up to speed on really a lot of the different aspects of the WordPress universe? Are there sites or blogs or resources or communities people should check out?
Definitely, there's a lot. One that I totally recommend is using, if you go to WordPress.tv, there's so many resources, but I have a talk just on resources at SpeakerDeck/Suzette Franck, and that's with the CK. If you go there, all of my talks are up there. There's about 40 or 60 talks up there, but one of them is resources for reaching your WordPress potential. So it talks about all the different resources, but just a few off the top of my head. Is a plugin that adds help functionality to the back end of your WordPress, and there's a lot of excellent resources. In WordPress we're very lucky. The community is very strong, so going to meetups, going to WordCamps, and WordPress.tv is definitely the way to go. Great.
And then I think there are some other sites out there too, WP Beginner, WP University, and some other ones as well. And I believe Felix and Kurt, you mentioned make.wordpress.org as well earlier in the broadcast.
Most definitely. It's really important to to actually hear what's happening in the community. You can see the live track if you're interested in the development side on what's happening. But if you go to make.wordpress.org, you'll find all the resources around what's happening with the current release, the next generation, everything.
Excellent. Well, we're just about at the bottom of the hour here. I wanted to let folks, there were a couple of questions we didn't get to. We will try and follow up with those directly. If you have questions more broadly, we will be tracking the GDWP hashtag for at least a little while here. And up in the next couple of weeks, there are actually a lot of external events where we will be participating as well. We'll be at WordCamp Chicago, WordCamp San Francisco in the fall, and some other ones. Suzette, any other ones on your agenda in the next month or few weeks?
Yeah, well, nothing for the next 2 weeks. Chicago is the next one, and I'll be talking about WordPress wizardry without code. So that's a new talk for me. That'll be exciting. And then after that, there's like New York, Orange County, and Los Angeles also coming up. But you can find all the WordCamps if you go to central.wordcamp.org. It lists the upcoming WordCamps all around the country and outside of the country as well. There's becoming increasingly a lot of more international WordCamps, which is really exciting.
Awesome. Well, everybody who dialed in and spent the last half hour with us, thank you all very much for sharing a little bit of your day with us. And special thanks to Kurt and Felix and Suzette for sharing your expertise. I'm Chris Carpy. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you on the next Hangout. If you subscribe to our Hangout page, either on Google Plus or on Facebook, you will see the upcoming ones. And again, thank you all very much. Take care.
Bye.